I'm Deirdre O'Donoghue, and in the room across from me, through the glass, if everything is very faint, I have to bring this up.
Have you flicked a switch yet?
There you are. Constantly and regularly. It's going to get me in trouble one of these days.
88.9.
Neil Finn and Tim Finn. Tim, one of the original members, actually probably the founding member of Split Enz. Younger brother Neil came in a little while later, and between the two of you, you certainly set a lot of musical ears on edge. And I actually liked the comment, there was a compilation album of Split Enz things, and Tim, you wrote part of the liner notes for that. And you made a comment there, I don't know if you recall it or not, about, you said that it was too bad that Split Enz was always being called ahead of their time, that you were never ahead of your time, you were always just on the edge of things or outside of things. And I like that very much.
That thought did occur to me from time to time. Somebody once, I asked them to describe how Split Enz fitted into the scheme of things, and they pointed to a salt cellar and then tipped a bit of salt onto the table and said, "That's you," and then pointed back to the salt cellar containing the salt and said, "That's rock and roll." But anyway, all these things aside.
So we've got hardened arteries and we're doing
basically.
Fine.
On the hamburgers. That's the voice of Neil Finn, who has been busy, I believe, working on a new Crowded House album.
Yep, that's what we've been doing for the last 4 weeks. In fact, this is about the first time I've showed my head in public for about 4 weeks.
How's it going?
And I've got sort of the studio tan going here, a few pimples growing up.
You've got that.
Mostly under the hairline.
It's really a disgusting sight, I can add.
But,
well, it's radio. We can pretend anything we want to.
My brain is looking very clean and sprightly, but my body is letting me down, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll let your brain do. You got some lists of some requests in there from people. Did Jeremy bring that in?
Yeah, we thought, seeing as Tim and I haven't really played together in public for a long time, except in the odd out-of-the-way place, that
parties
it was only fair that people who never got a chance to see a farewell tour from Split Enz got a chance to get a request in. So, yeah, there's a few requests here, but we'll start off. Actually, this one was requested by Donald Raddick. I presume you're leading us into some music here.
Well, actually, I was going to lead the audience back into. I was going to throw the phone number out again in case someone didn't hear me a few minutes ago.
Oh yeah, well if anybody wants.
Your generous offer.
Well, we've got one here from Donald.
We've got one here from Donald Raddick.
We could kick into that, I suppose, as a way of warming things up.
Perfect. And, then I'll come back and ask you what you're up to, Tim.
Okay. Well, we're talking about an album called Time and Tide and a song called 6 Months in a Leaky Boat. When I was a young boy, I wanted to sail around the world. That's a life for me, living on the sea. I can navigate the globe, and the rest of a pioneer will acknowledge no frontier. I remember you by thunderclap in the sky, lightning flash, tempest flare round the horn. If you dare, I just spent 6 months in a leaky boat, lucky just to keep afloat. Rugged individual, it glistened like a pearl at the bottom of the world. The tyranny of distance didn't stop the cavalier, so why should it stop me? I'll conquer and stay free. Ah, come on, all you lads, let's forget and forgive. There's a world to explore, tales to tell, back on shore. I just spent 6 months in a leaky boat, 6 months in a leaky boat. Shipwreck love can be cruel. Don't be fooled by her kind. There's a protect and prevail. I just spent 6 months in a leaky boat. Nothing to a leaky boat.
Here we go.
For Donald Raddick.
What a marvelous beginning. Tell the story of that song. I like that. It seems fitting in this 200th year of Australia, too.
Uh-oh. The old bicentennial.
Rears his ugly head again, eh?
Glad
Well,
I was out of the
bicentennial's a bit
place.
like the America's Cup. It's something that we'd like you to come and win off us. But actually, we're New Zealanders anyway, see, so we're a little bit...
I was reading books about the early days of that part of the world and how it took months and months at sea, and imagined those people, and I suppose that image stuck out. I don't know if it literally took 6 months to get there, but the boats were indeed leaky.
Good as. Give it take a day or so.
Best story about this song is that it was banned in England during the Falklands War. For some reason, they deemed it unpatriotic to sing about leaking boats.
Serious misinterpretation there. That's Tim Finn that you're listening to speaking, and we've heard what Brother Neil is up to with Crowded House, but what is it that you've been working on lately, Tim?
Well, I've done half a new album, which I did towards the end of last year, and with Mr. Froome at the helm, Mitchell, who Neil's worked with, and both Mitchell and I would have backed away from it at 100 miles an hour if it hadn't been a very natural thing, but it worked from the outset. It was Neil's idea for me to actually send a few songs to Mitchell. So for that, Neil, I thank you.
Well, he got me in the band when I couldn't play guitar, so I owed him
That's
one.
right. I had Neil in Split Ends when he was 18, absolutely useless. So I'm just cashing in my chips, I think it's called.
I used to be out of the out front mix in the first days of Split Ends.